Okay, so before we really get into anything, we have to start with the NCAA championships, men's basketball, Kansas. We were all wrong, kind of. Jayden was semi-wrong because he said Duke last time, but his bracket didn't say that. So.
Yeah, I got caught up in the Coach K storyline, and I don't know, but Kansas Jayhawks winners, big dubs for JV.
Yeah, Jayhawks well deserved, obviously. Hence the comeback they made in the championship game. I really thought Duke was going to beat UNC, but UNC definitely showed that they are a much more dangerous school. It was a very good game, but UNC showed out. Unfortunately, Coach K's last season, probably not the way he wanted to go out, definitely not the way he wanted to go out. But I'm happy for UNC, 8 seed making the championship. They made it far enough, and Kansas, well-deserved win.
They gave him a game, too.
It was such an interesting
The first
game.
half, I thought it was going to be a blowout, but then at the same time, I knew Kansas was going to come back because
Kansas has proven to be a second-half team this tournament. You saw with Miami, they held them to, I'm pretty sure, 15 points in the second half, blew them out in the second half, and now in the championship game, they outscored UNC 48-22.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It was one hell of a game, one hell of a tournament. Honestly, one of my favorite games, one of my favorite championship games that I've ever watched, honestly.
Yeah, I was going
I'd
to
agree with
say
that.
Duke UNC was probably one of my favorite games I've watched in a while. That was very good.
Well, no, definitely, but I mean like championship games.
Yeah.
Can you say UNC, the 15-point lead they blew was almost as detrimental as like the 28-3 Falcons loss, the 3-1
No,
The 28-3 Pats win.
because no one thought they were going to go up by 15, and everyone knew that Kansas was going to come back. Because that's an 8 seed versus a 1 seed. If it was Kansas blowing a 15-point lead, yes, I would compare that. I would even compare that to the 3-1 Warriors series. But no, Kansas is too good. No one really thought the Falcons would blow a 28-3
28-3
lead. That's just
But they
come on.
did.
That's going to go down in history. Obviously does. I still see it in comment sections on Instagram. But
I have a T-shirt.
she's a T-shirt.
Pats fans.
But no, it's. I knew Kansas was going to come back. I didn't know it was going to be a 15-point lead that they were going to blow. But Kansas is obviously known as a dominant school. So
Yeah, I mean, that's really all that's got to be said about it. It was an exciting month. Some really good basketball, some really good upsets. So we look forward to next year. We are going to get back into our latest segment that we've introduced to the show called Before the Bell, where we get into the UFC and the main events, who we think is going to win, who we think is going to win the co-main, and we let these two duel it out. So the main event for this week, 273, is Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. So, Jayden, Gabe?
So I'm going to start with the Korean Zombie. By the way, I did that already. You missed it. For the bell,
Okay.
Korean Zombie obviously got his nickname because he's a zombie. He goes down, he keeps getting back up and fighting. So we have to go with Korean Zombie. Also, I love the nickname. So Korean Zombie, now you're insane. What do you think?
Taking a bet off of a nickname is pretty interesting. No,
I'll give that to him.
Volkanovski is the second or third pound for pound. I think he's the second or third pound for pound fighter in the world right now. He's a dominant champion, beating the best two guys in the division. The Korean Zombie is not one of the best guys in the division. He is coming off of a not great loss to Dan Ige. Volkanovski, he's finished. He finished his last 3 fights, defended all 3 against Max Holloway and Brian Ortega. I'm taking Volkanovski by either TKO or decision.
Okay.
Well, we'll see who's right, I guess. Okay, CoMains, Sterling versus Jan.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Aljo versus Jan. It's the rematch of what was going to be one of the greatest UFC events of all time. Until it was a great fight. It was going back and forth last year. Peter Yan held the title. Aljo was fighting him for it. And it was an interesting fight. Aljo was sort of holding his ground, making ground back. And then Peter Yan was just, he grows throughout fights. He gets stronger throughout the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round. And he turned it up in the 3rd round. And he unfortunately hit Sterling with an illegal knee while he was down. And a lot of people say Sterling sold it. Say he acted, say he took the wimp way out and decided to take the disqualification instead of taking his 5 minutes recovering and fighting again. He just sold it, laid on the ground, acted like he was knocked out. No, I think Sterling has an even better chance of beating Yan this time, but I'm still going to take Yan. I think he is the best guy in that division. He has shown the ability to adapt throughout every single fight he's been in. His last 2 fights against Corey Sandhagen was insane. His last fight against Corey Sandhagen was insanely impressive. He was losing the first 2 rounds and then made his change and dominated from there on out. I'm going to take Yan by decision.
That was really in-depth.
Very well said, Jayden. Way to back up your opinion. This is what I like about having you on the show, because UFC is your main sport. You know a lot about the UFC, a lot more than I do, and I learn a lot just hearing you talk about the UFC. A lot more than if I
make me blush.
That was so nice of you.
No, I'm just saying, I do read articles online, but when you go in depth like that and you just get straight to the point like you do, I learn a lot more that way. So, UFC fans, Jayden Metron is the guy to go to for this segment.
They want your prediction.
Yeah.
My prediction is Sterling. I'm gonna go with Sterling. So I'll go with Sterling, but I did want to just comment on that because you did go in depth, and I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure.
Friendly love.
Yeah, such a nice episode today, guys. Okay, Jayden called this one the fight of the year. Burns versus Chimaev.
So around 9 months ago, both guys had fights booked with other guys, and I said, Burns just came off the loss from Kamaru Usman for the title shot. You didn't know where he was going to go from there. He got matched up with a striker and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and he carried out his game plan to perfection. Took him down, carried him out on the floor. Didn't let Wonderboy get into range where he could really show his striking techniques. And Khamzat, I believe, is just the future of the sport. He's going to be the next Conor McGregor, and this is going to be his first major test. He's fought in 4 UFC fights and hasn't been hit with a punch, kick, or elbow once in 4 UFC fights. That might be the craziest statistic I've ever heard.
It's pretty impressive, actually.
If that's true, that's
he hasn't
crazy.
gone further than 3 minutes in any of his UFC fights.
Hope so.
Dominates all of them. He's fought good fighters, like Gerald Mearshart is a very good fighter. Jing Li Jiang is also a very good fighter. Dominated him. That's the number 11 guy in the world, and now he's fighting the number 2 guy in the world. Going from 11 to 2 doesn't really happen in the UFC, but the UFC knew this was the fight to make, and it will be the fight of the year. So I'm not even going to make a prediction on it. If I'm going to, I'm going to take... You
went through all that just to say you weren't going to make a prediction on it?
I'm going to say Khamzat by decision. He's never gone longer than the first round. I'm going to take him by decision all 3 rounds. I think it's going to be the greatest fight I've ever watched as being a UFC fan. That's just my prediction.
That's a take.
Yeah. No, I think it's a pretty decent take. I mean, you just backed it up.
I don't really know what else I should say. You pretty much covered everything. But I'm going to have to go with Khamzat. Like you said, he is the future of the league. And yeah, he said everything that really could back it up. So I'm going to go with Khamzat.
Well, that was cool. I'm excited to watch this weekend. Right now, we have to toss it over to our Are You Even a Fan reporter, Zach Greene, who went to Little 500 practice this week in Bloomington to see which racers are real Indiana Hoosier fans. So, without further ado, Are You Even a Fan?
What's up, guys? We're here at Bill Armstrong Stadium, and as you can see, they're practicing for the Little 5. It's about 2 weeks away, the first time in 2 years that fans are going to be in the stadium, and everyone's pumped. This year is going to be absolute madness. We can't wait, And rumor has it breaking away might be coming. Who knows? Who knows? So let's go find out how the riders are feeling. All right, I'm here with
Laura Schaefer. I'm Katie. I'm Kayla.
I'm Stella. My name is Lindsay Way.
I'm Paxton Lobshire.
Laura. Who are you racing for?
Independent Council.
Kappa Kappa Gamma.
Alpha Omicron Pi.
Nice.
Delta Zeta.
Both of you? Can you bet on this? Because, I mean, man, I'm putting some money down. You think you're going to take it all this year?
Maybe not take it all, but we're looking a lot stronger than we did at the beginning of the semester. So.
Oh, they're pretty good.
Last year we placed 7th in the race, and this year we got 2nd in quals, which is really big for us.
Okay.
Kind of the underdogs, but we're really excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So we're honestly just trying to have fun with it, you know?
Yeah.
Is Theta the favorite? That's what I've been told.
Yes.
Technically, over the past
Oh,
few
in
years,
quals,
yes,
right?
they
Yeah,
did.
they
win
did.
quals.
So we
And they
got
have a
second in quals, so.
Has it that the Breaking Away cast might be coming here? You've seen Breaking Away, I assume?
Of course.
What are your
Yep.
thoughts?
I love breaking away. That's super exciting. I had no idea that they were going to be in the stands, but yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Well, that'd be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Coming up very close on the inside. Here they go for the center flag. And 34
I don't know.
Have a favorite turn, and do you have a least favorite turn?
Ooh, I'd say favorite turn definitely coming in over here. Least favorite starting at the backstretch. Like the wind over here gets nasty sometimes.
Right.
So trying to get past this turn is really tough.
1 is my least favorite. Turn 4 is my favorite because that means you're, coming in for that burn hot, coming in front of the fans, and it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree with turn 4. Turn 4 is usually pretty hot corners because usually the wind's coming in this way.
So you're coming in
Turn
hot.
2 is the worst. You're going into
you're
the
going
wind.
into the
You're
wind.
going into the wind.
I hate turn 3 though.
I'd say my favorite turn is turn 3 because that's where you start putting the pedal to the metal so you get up to speed to the finish line.
What about you?
My least favorite turn is turn 3 because it's usually right into the wind.
Okay.
Least favorite's turn 1.
My favorite turn is turn 3.
Okay.
My least favorite is turn 1 because it's usually the loosest and scariest.
Have you eaten yet?
Yes.
I minorly ate shit once. She ate this year.
This year I have not. My freshman year and sophomore year, yes.
I did cause a teammate to fall, so I don't know if that counts. But
Lucky.
It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up. Right?
Yeah.
How many times you guys fall? It's how many times you guys get up.
Party people, there you have it. That's a little 500 for you. You got a nice little briefing on what to expect and maybe what not to expect, considering anything could happen. It's a little 5, baby. See you in a couple weeks.
Thank you, Zach. So for our final topic of the day, we're going to be talking about the MLB, which finally got out of their lockout, thank God, and the no-shift rule. So I want to hear your guys' opinions on the no-shift rule. How do we feel about it? Are we excited that it's kind of going? Whatever.
Please.
Oh.
I think it's gonna help players, specific players, and definitely it's hard to take as a manager, what are you really supposed to do defensively then? Because you're making game plans for certain players. I get it, they want to take paper out of baseball. They don't want outfielders to just look at a scorecard in their back pocket, move over 5 feet, and have the ball go directly to them. That happens. That happened last year, but I get they want to take it out of the game. It's just that's coaching. I don't know how you can take a coaching aspect out of a game.
Yeah, I mean, a shift is literally, that's just taking so much out of baseball. That is all defense. Because, I mean, that's just you think about basketball, that's like saying, all right, all defenders have to play man. Because if you play a 2-3, and you're playing, just say the Warriors, for example, they're a 3-point shooting team. People are going to play 2-3 on them, guard the perimeter. That's you can't play that because they're shooters, you're not able to guard the shooters. The same with these batters. Just say a batter hits more often to the right side of the diamond. And so you shift over to the right side, but now you can't?
I will say I think it's going to make for more exciting baseball.
I think people's averages will
How much
go
faster
up.
is the game going to go now?
It's going to be slower now.
I don't even think about the speed of the game. I think you're going to have more exciting defensive plays, more diving plays, more jumping plays.
Yes,
Well,
that
now
is
you have
true.
now you can't just.
Now you can't rely on your teammates
But
to just
at the same time, with the shift, that makes the players kind of shift up their play type and say, for example, Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is a pull hitter.
I
So
think any
people move over.
left-hand pull hitters.
So the people will move over to the left. So that makes him want to hit more to the right. So that makes him work on his swing to adapt himself to hit to the right. And that's what baseball's all about, adapting yourself to get hits. And now there's no practice anymore. Like you just however you hit, you know?
I mean,
like I don't really understand how to I'm trying to say this. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah. Okay.
but how does we'll see, I guess. How does being able to shift take away from the authenticity of the game? Because I think that's where the primary concern was.
I think it's going to go back to a basic game where
Right.
it's just hitting and defensive plays versus. I think they're trying to take a lot of
it's taking the game.
The game got too analytical.
But that's good.
I think it got too analytical. I think analytics are huge and a part of the game. I think it got too analytical and they're trying to run it, reel it back a little. Like the fact that outfielders could literally take a piece of paper out of their back pocket, see who's on the lineup, see what they normally hit, move 5 feet to the left or right, and the ball goes right to them.
Well, that's what the batter's job is to do. They see the outfielder. Oh, the outfielder is moving to the right because they think I'm going to hit to the right. Well, let me hit it into the gap between right and center. You know what I mean?
When a ball's coming 100 miles per hour, it's very difficult to do.
You're gonna hit what you're comfortable with.
That's why in practice you look.
It's a lot easier.
You can see as much as the defenders can see based off what you hit. So you say, okay, most of the time I hit to the right side. So I'm gonna adjust my game and I'm gonna start hitting to the left side. So that just screws up the defense and that's gonna make them confused.
Just say I'm gonna hit to the left or right.
Professional baseball players,
it's still when pitchers are pitching 100 miles per hour, it's nearly impossible. The hardest thing in any sport,
that's what makes baseball hard though.
The hardest task in any sport is hitting a baseball.
Of course, but that's what makes baseball so fun to watch because it's such a hard game.
Right. So
when baseball's such a scientific game.
So when the statistics are that you're not the hardest thing to do is hit the baseball, I don't think you're really necessarily thinking. I'm gonna angle it differently so it goes. You're just trying to make contact at that point, right?
Yes, of course you're gonna make contact, but you're putting yourself in the shoes of 100 miles per hour. Yes, it'd be hard if I was up there at the plate hitting 100 miles per hour, but these players are professionals.
You're right.
It's good. They should be able to adjust their swing in order to hit to a different side and confuse the defenders.
I still think the no shift rule will help pretty much any left-hand power hitter. I think Joey Gallo, he's going to have a crazy year because he used to be either a home run or strikeout hitter.
How is the shift going to help him though?
I mean now because he was either shift, strikeout, or ground out.
He's usually strikeout or home run.
Strikeout, home run, or ground out.
How is the shift is it going to help him with the strikeouts?
Because not the strikeouts. When he was hitting, he was literally only hitting to hit a home run. Like Anthony Rizzo, this is going to help him because he doesn't always hit.
It's going to help a lot of players, which I think kind of is good and bad because I'd like to see these players they would work on their swings to adjust it to hit to the opposite sides that they would usually hit, and then the defenders wouldn't know what to do, and that's what defense is all about.
Or the defenders would know what to do.
But that's why there's 9 people on the field.
They're professionals.
They're not. I know. And there's 9 people on a field. They should be able to hit anywhere, and there should be a defender out there to catch it. They shouldn't have
So then the no shift rule is.
The last 5 to 10 years pitchers have gotten so much better and have gotten I don't want to say leniency to improve sticky stuff. It adds rotation on the ball, makes it insanely harder for the hitters to hit. Mm-hmm. The hitters just got something back in their belt to help them hit against pitchers now.
But
makes it an even playing field again.
The shift rule, what I liked about the shift rule is because they would have to move over, and when you adjust your swing, if you have to run over, like I'm saying, there's 9 people on a field. Like you should have
Very
to, you have to move
difficult to
over
adjust
a
your
while.
swing.
But if you,
It's very
we
difficult.
just went
We
over.
get that. We get
just
that.
went over
But,
the
like,
professionals.
No.
You nodded your
Go
head.
ahead. Go ahead.
He nodded his head. He did. I said that they're professionals. He nodded his head. He goes, true.
Okay.
But
okay.
anyways, there's 9 people on the field, 3 on the outfield, sometimes even 4 when there's a shift. So, yes, they're gonna have to. They'll be able to catch the ball. It's really not that hard, and then the players will adjust their swing. I just don't understand. There's 9 people on the field. A shift. Just let them do what they want. There's 9 people.
Well,
Let them go wherever they want to go. If they want to go somewhere and then they adjust their swing, so be it. You know what I mean? Like now it's just like such a normal classic game. Like it's about science. Like I want it to be
yeah,
fun.
isn't that like the point?
What do you mean?
Like the normal classic game?
Yes,
I think
that's not fun.
I think
They're trying to bring it back.
science and
Why?
analytics.
Why?
Because science and analytics were so, like, they were added to the game like 20 years
That's
ago.
what made it interesting.
Yes, but now it's too much. They're trying to draw it back.
It's uninteresting.
Like baseball, it's a dying sport. They're trying to bring it back.
It's so like if you think about analytics, it's so computerized now that it's completely changing the game.
They don't find who's a good fit in their clubhouse. They don't find who's a good fit, who has good chemistry. They find who's statistically the best player for that position for my team.
I don't know. I haven't really given much thought about this no shift rule, but like this is just based.
Clearly, you've given it some thought.
Well, this is just based off.
Said it, but.
Please let me speak. So I'm saying this is just based off my opinion on the shift rule in the past few years and how I like it. I don't know if the no shift rule is going to be much more fun to watch. Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to change the game where it's completely different.
Well, no.
I just think it makes.
It's not going to be significant.
It puts more
change.
balls in play. That's basically what it is.
Unless you adjust your player.
Well, I guess we'll see. But that is all the time we have for today. So we want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. Make sure to follow at IUSTV Sports for all of your sports-related updates. And make sure to tune in next week for some exciting content. For Jayden Betron, Gabe Fenster, and IUSTV Sports, I'm Kelsey Dennehy. We'll see you next week.